Andy, first of all, obviously game off last weekend. What were your thoughts on that?
No, the pitch was too hard. We gave it his best shot. We covered the pitch, but yeah, I think you saw a lot of games called off that weekend. Unfortunately, it's one of them things we can't affect the weather, so we just make sure that we prepare properly for the next game. Make sure the lads have got top ups on the workouts. But no, like I say, it was disappointing because we're in a good run of form. But we can't affect that, so we just move on.
How did you kind of get that work into the lads then? Because obviously mileage down from the Saturday match day, I guess.
Yeah, Ash gave them plans over the weekend to complete, and they all completed them really well. So it wasn't too much about beating them; it was just about ticking them over so that they don't have a weekend off again. But again, they're all professional players; they all know they've got to do work. And yeah, this week's been a good week's work.
In terms of this weekend, then the weather's very similar, but I suppose the positive is the synthetic pitch this weekend, isn't it?
It is, but I wouldn't be surprised still if there's a call-off, because after freezes, we've been training up at John Legate College all week, and we have to wait for it to thaw out. Hopefully it's thawed out. It probably will be, but I have seen AstroTurfs freeze. So fingers crossed the game's on. We're prepared as it is for a tough challenge against Rushall, who have had a couple of good results. So we'll make sure we're fully prepared for that.
How mindful are you of that with Rushall? Because it looked a couple of weeks ago down and out, quite far adrift at the bottom, but a brilliant result against Kidderminster and a good result against Farsley as well.
Yeah, two very good results. I watched a few games now. At Farsley, they deserved the win. They created chances first half, which should have been probably a couple of goals up, and then they finished off second half. Kidderminster rode luck a little bit. Kidderminster were a little bit wasteful at times, but again, when you're down the bottom of the league, you'll take anything that comes. And I've been in that position where you get a siege mentality again. It's right, we're going to graft, we're going to work hard. A little bit of luck comes our way. It was a good strike from the edge of the box. So I have to be mindful of that. If they do sit in, similar to Kidderminster, where they absorb the pressure, then we have to make sure we're good on the ball, not wasteful. And if they come at us, then we have to switch around and try and play through that or play over it.
And I suppose you have to look at that. They got a goal in front and managed to hold on. I suppose you've got to look at that, make sure we're not wasteful on the day if such a thing happens to us.
Yeah, I don't. Again, these players have been brilliant as of late. So we just more the continue of our progression and making sure that we get ourselves in a good position before the game, which we have done, and then just taking it on and executing the game plan, which we will. Obviously, we've worked on all week, so it's going to be a tough battle, but it's one where I want us to go there with full confidence, which we will do.
I know it's only 9 days ago, but it feels like an age since the last game. But just want to keep that as the benchmark as well, don't we?
Yeah, it seems since long ago. Last year, was it? It seemed a long time ago since we played. So we're all itching for a game. So hopefully we get this on and again kick on from where we left it off, because it's important we do. You've seen in the leagues, it's teams picking up points against each other, and no, it's a run of games now where we have to make sure that we're solid on each game, starting with Rushall, which will be tough, but then we've got other games from now which will be even harder, so we have to respect every single game as it comes. But I've got a group of players, squad players in there that are prepared and ready for the tough task ahead.
I know all 3Gs are different, but how beneficial is it to train at John Legate for these kind of games?
It's brilliant for us at the moment, because obviously everywhere grass is frozen. So massive thanks to John Legate College for letting us use that. We allowed a few of the students to join in today, which was good for them to see how a professional football team works. And again, they've helped us brilliant on there. Phil, Kate, Chris Priestley down there at 780 as well. He's helped us there. So everyone's been really accommodating up there. So massive thank you from us, because if it wasn't for them, we'd be struggling for a venue to train. So it's been brilliant. They've moved the lessons around to accommodate us. So it's been fantastic for us.
Away from the weather struggles, would it be beneficial to do that anyway ahead of a game such as Rushall, I guess?
Yeah, we've done this in the past where we've trained at John Legate, no matter what the weather is, for 4G game because it's different bounce, ball rolls differently. I know he sounds daft, but it does. So yeah, it's always good. But then you compare it on one AstroTurf, another AstroTurf different. So it can work both ways. But just for us this week, it's been important we get a good week trade, which happened.
In terms of team news, then obviously the main one is Ross Barrows. What's the update on him?
Yes, Ross unfortunately has had a serious injury. He's ruptured his ACL and a little bit of damage to his lateral ligament and also his meniscus. So he's got a serious injury there. He's got a consultation with a specialist on Monday or Tuesday, I believe, in Sheffield. So that's when we'll really know. We know there's damage to it, but we'll then know the severity of the damage and what the process and the recovery stages for him after he sees that. So it's awful news for Ross, and again, everyone that's come to United wishes him all the best, and we will look after him because he's been brilliant this season. Good player, honest lad, and it's going for when you see players have serious injuries because they live and breathe football. And when it's taken away from you, it's difficult. But we'll make sure that Ross is looked after psychologically and obviously physically. So he's got a good squad around him. He's got a tight family, which we've all seen down there when he came off. So yeah, we wish Ross all the best. Like I said, we just mindful that we care for him, but we don't want to put too much on him either. We've got to make sure we do it right.
Obviously, these kind of injuries are physical injuries, but there's a massive mental part of it as well. How is he at this moment in time? Because obviously it's a long journey ahead for him in that respect as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, with any news like it's up and down. One minute you think, yes, I'm going to beat this, and the next minute it's a long time. So it will be ups and downs, and it's just important we stay alongside him whatever the journey. And he's got to speak to people, which there's people in here that have had knee injuries. I've had a PCL myself, so I know how difficult it is to get your head around it. But I've just said on radio and you were there, you've got to keep your mind active. When I injured my knee years ago, Nige Atkins told me to learn a language, which I did for a little bit. I've completely forgot it now, but it's just about keeping your mind active, just so you're not going through a day of, right, I'm strengthening his leg, strengthen his leg, strengthen his leg, and then you've got to do else to keep your mind active, because footballers, sports people are very level, competitive, so they want something to keep them active, they want something to keep their mind on, because otherwise they don't see the life as I'm not saying a purpose, but you struggle to find things exciting. So yeah, again, Ross has got a long journey ahead of him, but he's got some good people around him to help him out.
And I say, because he's been open and honest with his mental health in the past as well, so I suppose that's something as a club we've got to be mindful of and support him all the way in that as well.
Yeah, that's the difficult side of it. Like I said, he's got a good family around him. He's moved down with his girlfriend now down Kingston area, so we'll be in every now and then. But it's important he gets that support from his family as well, which I know he will do because they're a great family. And then we're there to help him as well. It's not always a case of reaching out to Ross. Sometimes you've got to let them come to you at times as well, because we don't want to smother him with information. But no, I mean, I know the fans will wish him all the best as well, so we just got to stay strong with Ross.
In terms of the rest of the squad, how are we looking?
The rest of the squad's trained really well. Probably Tyler Denton's probably 50-50. Still a bit of a swelling from the Marine game, where again it's an AstroTurf surface, so it's nothing serious. He just gets a little bit of fluid reaction on his knee from the hard ground. So we'll give Dent as long as he possibly needs, and we've got other options. And again with Ross, we've got people in the building. And they could be available for Saturday, so we've just got to be mindful that whatever we do, we're ready. But in terms of players, yeah, just Ross and Tyler Denton, Alfie trained, Fish trained, so we've got a full selection apart from them too.
I suppose with Tyler and the surface this weekend, you probably wouldn't have wanted to risk him again on that surface again anyway, would you?
If it swelling gone down, then it gives himself a chance. If not, no, we're mindful of it because he's an important player. But I'd like to think that the swelling does go down and you've got a settled back four there. Obviously, we'll have to make a change with Ross Barrows, but it's about continuity with these players and making sure that relationships build with each other. So, yeah, there'll be one enforced change, but I'd like to keep this very simple.
You said there's people in the building that can go right back. Have you still looked outside of the building and what could be done there?
Yeah, like I said, we've got people in the building that can play that position, but we've also got people outside. We've got a couple of trialists in, a couple of people that we can act on straight away if we need to in terms of loan. So, yeah, we've made strides in recruitment, but it's just making sure the right player and the right fit. We're not going to jump into anything because it's an important position for us. So, yeah, we've got loads of people identified, and like I said, it's just making sure that we don't disrupt this team.
Got a busy 6 weeks or so coming up. Obviously, the Brackley game gets thrown into that mix. The Kidderminster game moves because of their progression. It's going to be a really hectic schedule, isn't it?
It is, and that's why we need a squad, and that's why I keep people fit. So, Ash, Kieran, and Rosie have done a great job so far in terms of keeping the players fit, and the players have when they're away from football. So, yeah, we just make sure that we keep rolling our team out fit. Like it's going to be a battle, a lot of games, but that's the joy of having a good squad. We can rotate, we can move people about, we can change formations. So we're prepared on all fronts, and just making sure, like I said, we keep improving because we are doing it.